In one of our previous videos, we covered the story of the Plutonian, an evil Superman-like character who went on a spree of destruction. While characters like him have gained popularity in recent years, it's important to remember that most Superman-inspired heroes embody the values and ideals that Superman stands for. One such character, often overlooked despite representing everything that made Superman great, is Superior, a 12-year-old boy who gained extraordinary powers for just 1 week. Yet, through his dedication to heroism, he managed to change the world for the better in that short time. In today's video, we'll explore the story of Superior, the most inspiring Superman clone. The central character of the Superior comic is Simon Puny, a 12-year-old boy and former basketball prodigy. His coach had high hopes for his future in basketball, but tragedy struck when Simon was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, gradually robbing him of the ability to use most of his body and forcing him to abandon his dreams. As his condition worsened, most of his friends drifted away, except for Chris, who remained loyal. Simon and Chris would still go to the movies every week, and the last film they saw together was the latest installment in the Superior series, a franchise about a Superman-like hero. Although Chris found Superior's Boy Scout persona dull, Simon admired him for being friendly and inspiring, standing out from the darker, more edgy superheroes. After leaving the theater, they were confronted by bullies who mocked Simon's condition and Chris for not making the main basketball team. Fortunately, Simon's mom intervened, but the encounter left Simon deeply upset. That night, while Simon was asleep, he was awakened by a strange monkey wearing an astronaut suit. Startled, Simon tried to call for his parents, but the monkey, named Orman, revealed that they had been temporarily transported to space and assured Simon he had nothing to fear. Orman introduced himself and explained that Simon had been chosen out of billions for a magical wish. With a touch, Orman transformed Simon into Superior, the superhero from the movies, and told him that everything would be explained in a week. The next day, Simon returned home to find his parents had called the police, fearing he had gone missing. Before a detective could enter his room, Simon flew away, accidentally breaking through the ceiling, and set off to find his friend Chris. To say that Chris was surprised would be an understatement. Mistaking his friend Simon for an intruder, he grabbed a bat and tried to call his dad. But Simon quickly proved his identity, clearing Chris's doubts. The two friends then ventured into the nearby forest to test Simon's new abilities. They discovered Simon now had super sight, able to read text from afar, and super hearing, catching sounds miles away. While practicing his heat vision, they accidentally set the forest on fire, but Simon quickly put it out with his frost breath. They then tested his super strength. Simon initially struggled to drag a train, which reminded him of the physical therapy he endured after being diagnosed with his condition. However, through sheer determination, he managed to move the train. Next, they practiced flying. Simon, unsure of how to control his flight, soared higher and higher until he stumbled upon a space station in critical condition. Without hesitation, Simon saved the station, landing it safely on the street and preventing countless deaths. His heroic act was witnessed by many, including a reporter determined to uncover the truth. Simon continued rescuing people, and news of a mysterious superhero spread rapidly. His first public appearance came during an incident at Long Beach, where after dragging a submarine for 20 minutes, Simon collapsed on the beach, exhausted. His heroic acts instilled hope in people, making him a powerful symbol. Later that evening, while visiting Chris, Simon speculated that the mysterious monkey who gave him his powers was an angel, explaining that he had prayed every night for his disability to disappear. Interestingly, the monkey, Orman, was eavesdropping on their conversation and revealed that he wasn't an angel, but in fact, the opposite. Interestingly, Tad Scott, the actor who portrayed Superior in the movies, found himself in a tricky situation after the real superhero appeared. Because of their identical looks, people began to assume Tad was the superhero, causing significant stress for him and his management. To avoid further confusion, Tad decided to lay low until the situation was resolved. Meanwhile, a determined reporter named Maddie was eager to uncover the truth about the mysterious hero. In a bold attempt to make contact, she intentionally drove her car into the water, despite warnings from her co-workers that the plan was crazy. Fortunately, Simon heard her cries for help and pulled her to safety. Recognizing Maddie from the news, Simon agreed to an interview, during which he explained that he had no ulterior motives and only wanted to help people. At the same time, Simon's friend Chris was attacked and robbed by bullies on his way home. Despite Chris urging him not to get involved, Simon decided to confront the bullies. When they tried to attack Chris again, Simon intervened, dragging the main bully, Sharpie, to the North Pole and threatening to leave him there if he ever bullied Chris again. Terrified, Sharpie promised to stop. Later that evening, Chris commented that Simon was better than the movie version of Superior because, in addition to saving lives, he also dealt with bullies. However, this encounter left Sharpie harboring intense hatred for Simon. While out walking, he was approached by Orman, who offered him anything he desired, on the condition that he pledged allegiance to Orman's master, the devil. Simon realized he could do more than just prevent accidents and stop disasters. He could help end wars and violent conflicts. He arranged a meeting with the president and was first deployed to Afghanistan. Within a day, Simon captured every terrorist without harming a single person. He assured the Afghan people that he wasn't there to serve foreign interests and even helped rebuild their nation. Later, he addressed the United Nations and extended his aid to countries worldwide, from safely disposing of nuclear waste to delivering food and volunteers to impoverished regions. His efforts were so extraordinary that the president offered him anything he wanted in return. Simon's requests surprised everyone. He played baseball with his favorite teams, performed at a concert with his favorite rock band, and played basketball against his favorite athletes, winning 900-0. Later, Maddie invited Simon to her apartment, intending to seduce the hero, unaware of his true identity. Simon, thinking she just wanted to apologize for her earlier tricks, accepted the invitation. But as they talked, Orman suddenly appeared, revealing that Simon's 7 days as Superior were up. He transformed Simon back into his original form, explaining that he was easier to negotiate with this way. Confused, Simon listened as Orman revealed himself as the devil. Orman offered to restore Simon's powers in exchange for his soul, explaining that he hadn't delivered a soul in 500 years and would be banished to the deepest pits of hell if he didn't by the next day. Desperate, Orman had chosen Simon and granted him extraordinary powers, hoping to make a deal. He gave Simon a day to decide. After Orman left, Maddie entered the room, only to find Simon in his original form, with Superior gone. When questioned by Maddie, Simon tried to leave, but Maddie quickly put 2 and 2 together and realized he was Superior. She calmed him down, made him some food, and listened as Simon explained everything. Desperate and conflicted, Simon asked for her guidance. He even considered selling his soul, reasoning that he had never even seen it and might as well give it up. Maddie, however, urged him not to make such a trade. Simon argued that it was easy for her to say, being a wealthy and successful woman, while he was just a kid with a severe disability. He confessed his deep hatred for his body and believed that if he sold his soul, he wouldn't feel so useless anymore. It was then that Maddie realized she needed to help save Simon from making a terrible mistake. The next day, she took him to a children's hospice. At first, Simon thought Maddie was trying to put him in a hospital, but she reassured him that wasn't the case. Maddie revealed that as a child she had been diagnosed with leukemia and had spent much of her childhood in that very hospice. She still had to undergo blood tests every month, but her condition hadn't held her back. In fact, it was in that hospice that she discovered her passion for creative writing, which shaped her into the person she was today. She told Simon that she hadn't let her illness define or limit her, and because of that, she found fulfillment. Simon then spoke with one of the patients, a girl drawing her future room. She told him she loved music and aspired to become a musician one day. Maddie explained to Simon that what he truly wanted was to be loved, just like Superior was loved in the movies. But he didn't need to be a superhero for that. He was already loved by his friends and family. Later that day, Simon returned to his family, while Maddie told her newspaper that Superior had left the planet forever. However, Orman anticipated this. He met with Sharpie, and after murdering his parents, granted him his wish for revenge. Orman transformed Sharpie into Abraxas, Superior's archenemy from the movies, and unleashed him upon the city. Abraxas then sent a public message, threatening to kill as many people as possible unless Superior showed up within 60 seconds. Simon didn't hesitate and accepted Ormond's deal, transforming back into Superior. Meanwhile, Abraxas was wreaking havoc when Tad Scott, the actor who played Superior, bravely confronted him to buy time and save people. However, Abraxas, detecting that Tad was only human, tried to kill him. Just in time, Simon arrived and saved his favorite actor. He confronted Sharpie and quickly gained the upper hand, but Ormond joined the fight, transforming into the Annihilator, another villain from the movies, and unleashed more chaos. As Superior struggled to protect the innocent, Sharpie and Ormond managed to pin him down, with Sharpie relentlessly beating him. When Sharpie threatened Simon's mom, Simon was enraged and punched Sharpie with such force that he was sent miles away. Ormond then devised a plan. He ordered Sharpie to destroy one part of the city while he targeted another, launching a rocket to create a third disaster. Under immense pressure, Simon acted quickly. He immobilized Ormond, seized the rocket, and then dragged Sharpie into space, where he incapacitated him by slamming his head. Returning to Earth, Simon smashed Abraxas into Ormond, destroying both enemies. Even in defeat, Ormond claimed victory, revealing that it was almost midnight, and Simon's soul now belonged to him. Simon, willing to trade his soul for the lives he saved, was shocked when Ormond explained that a human soul is worth more than any number of lives. It's the most valuable thing in the universe. However, Maddie arrived, exposing Ormond's critical mistake. By turning Simon into an immortal and unkillable superhero, Ormond ensured that he would never truly acquire Simon's soul. Realizing this too late, Ormond panicked as midnight struck, and he was dragged into the deepest pits of hell by demons. Simon reverted to his original form, with Ormond's magic gone, but he accepted it, saying he preferred it this way. The official story was that Superior died during the battle with the Annihilator and Abraxas, and the world mourned the loss of an inspiring superhero. Tad Scott became one of the most famous actors alive for his heroic actions in the final battle. Simon returned to his family and continued his life, and he, his friend, and Maddie were later invited to the premiere of the new Superior movie, which they watched together with loved ones.